As the entire country faces the impact of COVID-19, millions of Americans are still grappling with other major health issues that persist in the midst of the pandemic. Some of them suffering silent through a disease that you may not have even heard of, Huntington's disease. It's a rare genetic disorder with a devastating impact on thousands of Americans. And we've been following two families facing the same disease, each with their own distinct struggles. We should note that we filmed with them prior to the pandemic hit, before masks or social distancing had ever been uttered. Here's their story.
I'm serious. Do you want to change?
No. When Scott and Kelsey Porter pledged their commitment to each other 7 years ago, they could have no way of knowing just how intensely those vows of in sickness and in health would ultimately be put to the test.
I know, it's different for everyone.
You may recognize him as the handsome high school quarterback from Friday Night Lights.
Takes the snap, drops back to
paralyzed on the field in the show's first episode.
the only one that might be able to get to him. Fumble on the play, a fumble, the ball's loose. Oh, get the ball!
Friday Night Lights was shooting in Austin, and we had some friends in common, and we ended up at a Halloween party together. This is like basically our life story.
Their off-screen love story first blossomed in Texas in 2007.
Over that first month of just getting to know each other, we just found out how family-oriented we both are.
We got married at Camp Lucy. It was the perfect day.
Now in their 30s and living in LA, their shared love of family has become more important than ever.
We got married in April of 2013, and my parents sat us down and told us that my mom had been diagnosed with Huntington's that Christmas of 2013. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know anything about it. And so anytime I think a parent or a family member tells you that they have a genetic disease, it's incredibly jarring.
Huntington's disease, also known as HD, is a rare and devastating genetic disorder. It impacts both motor skills and brain function as nerve cells in the brain deteriorate. The most common physical symptom is involuntary body movements called chorea. In its later stages, HD symptoms are often described as ALS, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's all rolled into one. And there's no known cure. And as Kelsey and her mother would soon discover, Huntington's is a family disease.
That night, that's all I was focused on, was my mom having it. And eventually it came back and settled in, oh, I might have this too.
If a parent carries the mutated gene that causes HD, their children have a 50-50 chance of developing Huntington's as well. Huntington's is a genetic twist of fate, the disease determined before birth, but usually not revealing itself until people are in their 30s or 40s. About 41,000 Americans are currently living with HD. Another 200,000 more are at risk of inheriting it. Unlike most young people with a family history of Huntington's, Kelsey chose to get tested immediately.
We sat down with the doctor and the genetic counselor, and they let me know that I had it. And I honestly barely remember that moment.
But in the face of that devastating and life-changing diagnosis, they became determined to raise awareness about the disease. Work that can help people far from the red carpets of Hollywood, like Texas native Justin Furstenberg, whose high school years played out like a real-life Friday Night Lights. Once playing in front of packed crowds at this stadium in Mesquite, Texas, not just a high school athlete, Justin was a top student and later earned a college degree in accounting.
I was always real good with math and science, I mean, that kind of stuff was always real easy for me, and so I get frustrated because I struggle with being able to focus.
Struggling in recent years to even hold down a minimum wage job. ABC News producer Imtiaz Delawala grew up with Justin and noticed a post on Facebook.
We were in honors math classes, history, government, all these top classes. We graduated in the top 10% of our class, but I also know you've struggled a lot in the last couple of years. And when I saw what you posted about Huntington's, I was like, something just clicked. I was like, well, maybe that's what's going on.
Justin saying in that Facebook post that he wanted to get tested to discover if, like his mother, he too had Huntington's disease. At the University of Texas Health McGovern Medical School, Dr. Erin Furr Stimming specializes in evaluating and treating patients who may have Huntington's.
Impulsivity is not uncommon in folks with HD, and poor decision making. And these changes can occur years before folks manifest motor symptoms, obvious motor manifestations. And so you might hear from a spouse or significant other that their loved ones, it's really their personality has changed and they just seem different. And they're doing things that he or she wouldn't have done before, but they may not put two and two together. Or if they don't know about the family history.
Determined to get answers, Justin and his wife Missy headed to Dr. Stimming's center in Houston to get tested for the mutated gene that causes the disease, allowing our cameras to follow.
It's probably been about 2 or 3 years that I've questioned it myself. I get frustrated because I drop things a lot. I can tell that my coordination is getting worse, and also the ability to process things. My hope is just to try to get confirmed whether or not I have the Huntington's, because my mother has it, my aunt has it, and obviously their mother had it, and I know that there's a 50% chance that I could have it, so I'm just want to get it confirmed.
Dr. Stimming works closely with a psychologist, genetic counselor, and a social worker for anyone going through the testing process.
I'm just going to do a baseline neuro exam, okay?
All right.
The test itself is straightforward, a short neurologic exam followed by a blood draw to be sent out for genetic testing. The results are available in a matter of weeks. The decision to get tested is a deeply personal one. HD patients live on average 10 to 20 years with symptoms which worsen over time and eventually become crippling. With no known cure, a recent study shows that as many as 90% of those with a parent with Huntington's choose not to get tested, many saying they prefer not to know their fate until potential symptoms appear. The cost of medical care for HD patients is also daunting, with a potential Huntington's diagnosis posing extreme challenges for long-term care or securing life or disability insurance.
There are no laws that prevent those types of policies from counting genetic test results against a person.
Okay.
So in other words, Justin, if your test results come back positive and then you try to get one of those types of policies, it'd be pretty close to impossible.
Right.
Very difficult.
Yeah, I understand.
With limited resources, Justin enrolls in an Obamacare plan, but says he can't afford additional insurance coverage. For Justin, a potentially life-altering diagnosis will come down to a few more weeks of waiting.
Try to stay aware of the fact that this is a very stressful period, so just be gentle with yourself. So if you feel sad or if you feel anxious,
okay,
this is a stressful time.
Right.
So really just try to stay aware of that.
Okay.
Weeks later, we travel with Justin and his wife as they again make the journey from Dallas to Houston to receive his results.
We don't want to make you wait, any longer, but I do want to give you the opportunity to ask any last-minute questions, voice any concerns before we go over your results.
Do you have any?
So as you can see, the genetic test results did find the mutation or the change in the Huntington's gene that your mom also has.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I know this is not the news we were hoping for.
Well, we knew, we did.
But these results don't define who you are. This is more information about you, okay? And this helps explain why you've experienced some of the changes that you have. You're the same person as you were before you got here, okay? And now you have this information, and now we focus on, okay, what do we need to do? What's the next step?
For Dr. Stimming, delivering these results never gets easier.
It's definitely an emotional experience. Even if you think you're ready, can't ever be ready. We can't. It's tough for us even giving the results. I can't even imagine receiving the results.
Early stage treatment can include physical therapy for motor issues and medications for cognitive symptoms. And new research offers promising signs.
And there's absolutely reason for hope. While we don't yet have an approved disease-modifying therapy for HD, we absolutely have effective symptomatic therapy.
Patients diagnosed with Huntington's can also apply for Social Security benefits when they're no longer able to work.
As I told Justin, and HD is progressive, but it's relatively slowly progressive, so nothing will change for Justin tomorrow or next week or the following week. So it's really about focusing on what we can do.
And for Justin, the diagnosis does give some sense of relief and an explanation for the struggles he's been having.
It's going to be a long journey, but, you know, I know what road I need to take now.
But life continues to be challenging. Unable to hold on to a job or health insurance, Justin can't afford any therapy or medications for HD, and he was recently denied Social Security benefits, a decision he's now appealing. Justin's financial and health coverage situation are both dire, but Huntington's presents challenges for anyone diagnosed looking for long-term insurance and care, including the Porters back in LA.
The way that insurance works in our country is such that, well, bad luck to you, so sorry, we can't help you any longer. And if you don't get your insurances before a whiff of Huntington's comes up in your family, you will not have long-term care insurance, you will not have life insurance. It angers me. It's not just heartbreaking, it is so frustrating and is so...
There needs to be more awareness about this disease, that it exists, that people are at risk and don't even know it.
The couple is helping to find care for Kelsey's mother, now experiencing symptoms of Huntington's herself, cherishing the moment she has with her grandchildren. With so much of the future unknown, having children was the one thing the Porters were determined to pursue upon learning of Kelsey's HD diagnosis.
She immediately started just researching, how do we have kids safely? How do we do this? And Kelsey turned to me and said, I want to be a mom as long as I can. So we need to have kids as soon as we can.
Through IVF and genetic testing, they hope they could eliminate the HD gene for the future generations of their family.
That's right.
PGD IVF stands for pre-implantation genetic diagnosis. And basically what they do is they take my egg. So I went through the whole arduous process of IVF, which is the shots, the egg removal, all of that anybody with fertility issues would go through. And we had 12 embryos that were sent off, and
only 5 of them were negative for the Huntington's gene.
Yeah.
Which means 7 of them had Huntington's, which is more than 50%.
The Porters say they understand the ethical debate over using IVF to select healthy embryos.
You always ask, God, why, God, like, why Huntington's? And you question yourself a lot of the way, and you have internal struggle the whole way. But man, those kids, those 2 kids, man, are just, they're everything, and we know that, like, they're what we're supposed to have, and they're healthy. And they're gonna be healthy, and they're gonna be here with their mom for a long time, and
that's why we did it.
That's why we did it.
And Hocus Pocus? Mommy! Clover!
Their fertility journey ensured their children do not have HD.
I missed you. Oh, I missed you.
But it came with a huge investment.
It was 6 figures to have our 2 kids healthy and without Huntington's. But so many people don't have that opportunity, and the fact that there's no one else there to help them it's just heartbreaking.
You get it?
Kelsey and Scott are now savoring every moment with 2.5-year-old Clover and 5-year-old McCoy, as Kelsey works on keeping up her physical strength in the face of what will be the fight of her life.
If nothing ever changes and we don't find a way to stem the tide of Huntington's, there's a distinct possibility that McCoy and Clover will know 2 different moms over the course of their life. And Kelsey wants to be herself and wants her children to really know her as her for as long as they possibly can.
My babies.
The Porters are encouraging others with HD to keep fighting along with them, as they work with the Huntington's Disease Society of America to raise awareness and critical fundraising. Determined to fund research and support services through events like the annual Freeze HD, which raised more than $400,000 last fall in the hopes of helping families just like Justin's in Texas.
Once you have Huntington's, you are part of a much larger family. You know, anybody out there who wants to get involved and join that family, like we're ready. Yeah. Like we're ready. Come and hang out with us. We're good people.
Our thanks to the Porters and to Justin Furstenberg for sharing their stories. You can find more resources on Huntington's at hdsa.org.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.